Is Lily Stevens, and I am an English teacher at Coconino High School. This is the presentation that I would be giving during open house, but if you're unable to make open house, you can watch this video. So this year I am teaching DE 11, AP English Literature, and English 12. So the goals for this presentation are for you to learn about who I am, learn about what we'll be reading, the skills and tasks your children will be learning, and learn about any important links. A little bit about me. I was raised in Tucson, Arizona. I earned my bachelor's in English and Spanish from the University of Arizona. I graduated at the height of the Great Recession, so I immediately got a master's in education from the University of Arizona and then a master's in literature as well from the University of Arizona. What can I say? Go Cats. This is my 14th year teaching total and my 7th year teaching at COCO. I'm going to start with dual enrollment, so you can skip ahead in this video to the class that pertains to you. For dual enrollment, we cover all of the junior year curriculum in the fall semester, and then we go to the college curriculum in the spring semester. So we're going to start the year, these texts are out of order, I apologize, with Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Then we are going to go to The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I love reading The Crucible in October. I think it's a perfect time for it. It's also my favorite text that I teach for all of my classes, by Arthur Miller. And then we are going to end the semester with The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass by Frederick Douglass. So that's basically what the fall semester looks like. That sounds intense. It's basically one book or play or memoir per month. So as long as you keep up with the reading on your own, you should be fine. I do give reading time in class, and as long as students use their time wisely, it shouldn't be overwhelming, although it sounds overwhelming. And then in the spring semester, as I mentioned, we are doing just the CCC curriculum. So students will get an accurate feeling of what it is like to take a college course because they have the same amount of time to complete it at COCO as they would at CCC. The biggest difference is at CCC, they would only meet 3 times a week or twice a week. And with me, they'll see me every day. So they'll see me 5 times a week. I choose to have students pick a controversial topic, and that is their semester-long research project for the semester. Some parents and guardians have an issue with that. However, I believe that since we are in such a divisive time, it's really important for people to be able to talk about controversial topics without yelling or resorting to violence. So my goal is not to indoctrinate any student. They're actually researching their own controversial topic. They'll research the perspectives and they get to decide whichever side they think is the best position to take, and they will present that to their classmates at the end of the semester. I am not telling them what to believe at all. Instead, they get to choose what is the right choice, and they get to teach that to the class. And students can disagree and have civil conversations. So that's the whole purpose, because there are a lot of controversial issues in the world right now, and I want everyone to be able to communicate in a calm, civil, and kind manner. That is the goal. However, if you have an issue with that, there is an option to take this class at CCC. So I just wanted to let you know. If you don't want them researching a controversial topic, they can choose to research just a regular topic, but it will be for the entire spring semester, and they will be hearing about controversial topics and having discussions on them in class. I only ask questions. I never put forth my own opinion. So what are the requirements from Coconino Community College? There are essays. So we start the spring semester. This is also going to sound overwhelming because I'm going to go over it all right now. And so to get an entire year's worth of major assignments can be a lot to take in. So students will pick their research topic for the semester. Then they will write a preliminary proposal, which is really short. They provide me 5 MLA citations for the work cited, showing that they've done some research on it and what their question will be. So they can't say knitting is better than crochet if that were a controversial topic or a research topic. It could be something like, is knitting more relaxing than crochet? Or are there more health benefits for knitting rather than crochet? Okay, so you ask a question even if you think you know what you're going to lean towards. Then you do an annotated bibliography on those 5 sources. The first essay, which is number 1 right here, they take one of the sources that they've researched and they analyze it rhetorically. Does this author make a good persuasive argument? Why or why not? Okay. The second essay, this one we do get to. These are kind of combined. But the second major essay is a researched argument that includes both perspectives. So they include the history of their controversial topic and how it became controversial, what people think on both sides or 3 sides of the issue. And then the conclusion isn't which side they agree with, but which side makes the best rhetorical argument. In their last essay, which is this one right here, I should change the order of these, they finally get to have a say which perspective they believe is the correct perspective on their controversial topic. And they write in the genre that they think would persuade their intended audience. They're using rhetorical strategies. They end by writing a reflection on the entire year for the skills that they learned and how they can use them in their classes for senior year and in college, because I am assuming that everyone is going to college because they're earning college credit for this course. And then there will be various essays, reflections throughout the year, especially in the fall semester. We do write so that students have the necessary grammar and organizational skills and analytical skills necessary to succeed with the college curriculum. So that is what the spring semester will look like. So students will write essays that analyze, argue, and are informative. They will learn about Aristotelian rhetoric, which is ethos, pathos, and logos. They'll go through the writing process, they'll learn how to research, and they do need to use MLA format. I do know that other fields use APA and Chicago style. However, this is an English class, and in every English class I've ever taken, we use MLA. Students, for some reason, find it to be really hard, but it's really just following directions for formatting. That's all it is. And I'm more than happy to look over their MLA formatting, their drafts, whatever, throughout the writing process. For dual enrollment, students will receive college credit. I taught this exact course at the University of Arizona for 2 years, and the assignments for the major essays are directly from the U of A. So I had my mentor at U of A look them over, and yeah, I've just been doing this for a while. So it's not like I'm sugarcoating anything or making anything easier. When I say I hold my students to a college level standard, I do. Okay. So I expect them to be at college level by the time we're done and the end of the spring semester. But I work really hard so that students who have holes or gaps in their English or analytical learning, by the time they get into my class, by the time they leave, they're good. They might need to put in more effort or more time or revise more than they're used to, but they will have really strong skills by the end of my course. Okay, I don't know how long I've been recording now, but here we are on the English 12 course description. So English 12 is a course in learning and developing basic language and discourse skills. Students are expected to master the basics of grammar, usage, and vocabulary acquisition, and to apply that knowledge to multiple genres of writing and other discourse. Basically, this is the last English class that a lot of these students will be taking in their lives. So when Ms. Wilson and I developed this course, we wanted to make sure that we incorporated skills that students would need in college, if they're choosing to go to college, in trade school, or for any career path that they choose to go on. So that means they need to communicate well, speak well, be persuasive, and learn how to adapt their language for various situations. So that's what we really focus on so that students can be successful in whatever they choose to do after graduation. So we will critically discuss literature and writing, read, write, and analyze various texts, make connections between ourselves and society, communicate effectively, improve our vocabulary, use standard American usage, research, and think critically. We only have 3 texts for English 12 because we do a lot of grammar, and I'm sorry if you guys don't like grammar. I love puns and dad jokes, so I try to make it as fun as possible. Granted, my definition of fun is knitting and watching TV, which I know is not the traditional fun for high school students. However, I think making some bad jokes is better than just dry grammar. So we start with Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. We go to Othello by Shakespeare, which I love. There's so much to analyze in that one. And Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, which is another one of my favorite texts. So I do enjoy the text in English 12, and I really hope the students do as well. My goal is to make my class as enjoyable as possible, even if English isn't your thing or you don't really like the texts. Okay, AP Lit. An AP English Literature and Composition course engages students in the careful reading and critical analysis of imaginative literature. Through the close reading of selected texts, students deepen their understanding of the ways writers use language to provide both meaning and pleasure for their readers. As they read, students consider a work's structure, style, and themes, as well as such smaller scale elements as the use of figurative language, imagery, symbolism, and tone. This course includes intensive study of representative works from various genres and periods, concentrating on the works of recognized literary merit. The pieces chosen invite and reward rereading and do not yield all of their pleasure of thought and feeling for the first time through. There are a lot of objectives and essential learning outcomes for AP Lit. It is an intensive course, but students will learn how to closely read and analyze challenging pieces of literature from the time of Beowulf through the present. Study and learn new vocabulary, understand the ways in which authors use diction, tone and attitude, narrative point of view, detail, syntax, organization, etc. Consider the historical context, write essays where they constantly improve their writing, so they will need to revise. That's not an option based on how good they are with writing. Even the best writers will need to revise in this class. They will analyze literature, analyze the importance of language, and speak, listen, read aloud, and synthesize skills. Literature has become quite controversial in the past 5 years, for example, and a lot of people believe in censoring literature because of some controversial ideas that are present. However, the College Board and the AP classes oppose censorship, and this is in my syllabus. So AP is animated by a deep respect for the intellectual freedom of teachers and students alike. If a school bans required topics for their AP courses, the AP program removes the AP designation from that course and its inclusion in the AP course ledger provided to colleges and universities. Okay, therefore, your child will be required to read all of the texts I have on my syllabus. I am not creating any alternate units or assignments for students. So if you're not okay with this, I highly recommend switching into a different course. Okay. AP opposes indoctrination. AP students are expected to analyze different perspectives from their own, so they will hear ideas that contradict their own, and no points on the AP exam are rewarded for agreement with a viewpoint. AP students are not required to feel certain ways about themselves or the course content. AP courses instead develop students' abilities to assess the credibility of sources, draw conclusions, and make up their own minds. So even if your child is reading about issues that you are not too happy about, I am not telling them what to think on that subject. They're just seeing and reading and analyzing these texts and coming up with what they believe with on their own based on evidence from the text. Okay, so I'm not here to indoctrinate anyone or tell anyone what to believe. I'm just here to give them texts from the literary canon and teach them how to find big ideas and how to analyze those ideas into themes from those pieces of literature. AP students are not expected or asked to subscribe in any one specific set of cultural or political values, but are expected to have the maturity to analyze perspectives different from their own and to question the meaning, purpose, or effect of such content within the literary work as a whole. AP courses foster an open-minded approach to the histories and cultures of different people. So I'm not going to read all of these for you, especially since this is a video. You can pause and read the non-bolded items. Every AP student who engages with evidence is listened to and respected. and AP is a choice for parents and students. This is a rigorous college level course, and when students go to colleges or universities, they do go to take classes where they hear ideas that they might find upsetting or contradictory to their own. Just like their experience in college will hopefully be, the teacher professor's goal is not to indoctrinate or tell students what to believe, but to introduce them to concepts, and then students can deal with their cognitive dissidence and figure out what they believe on a topic. And that's how I will be teaching my class. So if you have any questions or concerns about that, please let me know ASAP so that we can make sure that your child is either correctly placed in this class or can be moved to another class. Since this is AP English Literature, there are a lot of texts. So I decided to have them basically be in order from the time of Beowulf to the present, except for October. In October, they're reading texts that are on the scarier side. So I'm not going to read all these. All of these are in the syllabus, but you can see them. So this takes us basically through December, if not some of January. This is January and February. And this is through the beginning of May when we have the AP test. It does look like a lot, but it includes a lot of poems and short stories that might take 1 or 2 days to complete. And that's AP English Literature in a nutshell. There will be a lot of reading, and in addition to these texts, students will have to read a novel of their choice from September through April and complete a little sheet on it. Although they could probably get all the information from SparkNotes, I really encourage students to read those books on their own because they could be on the AP test, and it's really just an excellent practice to be well read because then you can see allusions to things in pop culture and you just have kind of more experience and strategies to deal with life, and life is hard. At least that's how I use literature. Okay. Your child got the syllabus on Monday of the first full week of school. Please make sure that it is signed and returned to me because I consider these syllabi as a contract. So by signing it, it means you are okay with the texts and skills and tasks that your child will be doing in my class. It has all of the course policies, and it is also on Canvas. I email everyone once a week through Synergy, which is ParentVue. And in that, I tell you exactly what we're doing every single day with the assignments due and when they are due. I also tell you when I am updating the gradebook. Normally, I try to have the gradebook updated on Monday at the beginning of the week, but sometimes when I have longer assignments like essays to grade, it'll be Friday. All of my shorter assignments I will have in the gradebook within 1 week, and longer assignments like essays will be in the gradebook within 2 weeks. If students submit assignments late, I get to those assignments later. Okay. All of the information is on Canvas. My email address is lstevens@fusd1.org. You can email me from your personal email address right there, or you can email me through Canvas. There is the ability to email me on TeacherView, but it is a little bit harder for me to respond and to ensure that I have responded. So I really prefer just my personal email address. Well, not my personal, my teacher email address or Canvas. I respond within 24 hours during the work week, but I may not respond immediately on weekends because I like to imagine that I have a life. So thank you for attending. It's going to be a wonderful year. Since this is a video that you're watching, if you have any questions or concerns, please send me an email and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much.